Not everyone can see, but in that hospital room, a doctor, used to scalpels, diagnoses, and the cold routine of medicine, saw something that defied all scientific logic. He was walking down the hallway when he felt a different presence. Something was pulling him, as if an invisible force was calling him. Upon entering the room where former President Jair Bolsonaro was, his heart raced. There wasn't just a recovering patient. There were presences, beings, lights, energy. The doctor, who had never had an experience like that, witnessed what he described as a luminous angel beside the bed, and several spiritual mentors moving about the room, as if they were working, helping, protecting. For a few seconds, he was not just a healthcare professional. He was a living witness that the spiritual world is closer than we imagine. And you are about to hear this story that will send chills down your spine. Who was this doctor? He was not a mystic. He was not someone who spoke of spirituality in the hospital halls. He was a respected, discreet professional, known for his ethical stance and his skepticism about anything that could not be explained by science. For years, he had seen life begin and life end. He witnessed pain, struggle, resilience, but always with his feet on the ground, trusting in what he could see, touch, measure. That's why, when he decided to tell what he saw in that room, many colleagues were surprised. It wasn't just anyone saying this. It was him, a man who had never mixed faith with medicine, who always avoided supernatural judgments. And maybe that's exactly why his account caused such an impact. Because if a skeptical doctor who never believed in visions or energies encountered that, then maybe there really is something beyond what human eyes can perceive. What he saw, it's hard to put into words. Upon entering the room, the doctor immediately felt that something was different. The air seemed lighter, as if an invisible peace had taken over the place. The silence there was not ordinary. It was a living silence, full of presence. And then he saw. Beside Jair Bolsonaro's bed, there was a figure of light, intense yet gentle to the eyes. It was an angel. A being surrounded by a luminous aura, radiating a deep sense of protection and comfort. The doctor described the presence as something impossible to ignore. It was as if that energy spoke directly to the soul. But it was not alone. Around the bed, discreetly positioned, were 2, maybe 3, spiritual mentors. They did not speak. They were silent, with serene and attentive expressions. They watched, they cared, as if they were there to maintain the balance of something much greater. The doctor said that, for a brief moment, he felt as if he were between 2 worlds, as if the hospital, with all its material structure, had become a meeting point between the physical and spiritual planes. And he, who had never witnessed anything like it, simply could no longer deny what was before his eyes. The role of spiritual mentors, Spiritist view. According to Spiritist doctrine, codified by Allan Kardec, spiritual mentors are elevated spirits with a higher level of consciousness who accompany us throughout life to guide, protect, and mainly to help us fulfill our mission on earth. They do not interfere with our free will. But in moments of crisis, such as severe illnesses, delicate surgeries, or near-death experiences, they draw closer, seeking to strengthen us spiritually and, often, to assist health professionals with subtle intuitions and inspirations. They are like silent lighthouses. They do not draw attention, but they illuminate, protect, support. In the case of public figures, such as political leaders, religious figures, or artists with a large collective impact, it is common for them to be accompanied by missionary spirits, entities that take on the task of protecting and inspiring these individuals, especially in decisive moments of their personal or national journey. These mentors are not there by chance. They are tied to spiritual commitments assumed even before incarnation. What the doctor saw, therefore, may have been the direct action of these spirits committed to a greater mission, not just with the life of one man, but with the spiritual developments surrounding the destiny of an entire country. The presence of the angel, according to Spiritist doctrine. In Spiritism, angels are not seen as mythological or divine beings, but as highly evolved spirits who have reached an extraordinary level of moral and intellectual perfection. They are not beings immune to incarnation, but rather spirits who have achieved such a high degree of evolution that they become instruments of light, love, and protection on our earthly journey. Sometimes these spirits become visible, but not to everyone. Only those with a more developed mediumship, like the very doctor who witnessed the event, are able to perceive their presence. It's as if the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds momentarily thins, allowing such a highly evolved spirit to manifest. When an angel becomes present in moments of crisis or challenges, such as in a serious illness or a near-death experience, their presence can be a sign of special protection or direct spiritual guidance. The presence of such a high spirit is not casual. He is there for a reason, whether to protect, to support, or to fulfill a mission not yet completed. In the case of Jair Bolsonaro, the doctor's vision may have been the manifestation of an angel at a crucial moment, perhaps to help him in his recovery, but also to fulfill the role of spiritual support due to the great responsibility he carries. High-impact leaders, like public figures with significant social and political influence, often have a deep spiritual mission, and it is possible that the angel was there to guide and protect the path ahead. The spiritual purpose of the experience. What does this vision represent? More than just a simple account from a doctor, this experience carries with it a deep message that goes beyond material logic. It reminds us that the spiritual plane constantly operates, often silently and discreetly, but with an influence that can be immeasurable in our daily lives. A warning so that we do not forget the presence of spiritual forces that guide us, even in our hardest moments. The intervention of mentors and angels in Bolsonaro's room was not a coincidence. It was a demonstration that, in moments of great need or transition, the spiritual world is by our side, ready to support us. Also, a lesson in humility. No matter how much power someone has, no matter how prominent their position, we are all guided by greater forces. Material power is fleeting, but spirituality is eternal. No one is beyond receiving guidance and protection from higher beings. Moreover, this vision teaches us about the importance of prayer, spiritual vigilance, and inner transformation, especially in times of trial. When we face crises, challenges, or illness, it's time to strengthen our connection with the spiritual plane, to seek more inner peace and moral elevation. These practices help us face life's difficulties with more wisdom and serenity. Now we invite you to reflect. Do you believe that there are spiritual forces guiding us? Have you ever had a similar experience where you felt a presence or received guidance that went beyond what you could understand? If even a skeptical doctor, used to dealing with scientific facts and material evidence, witnessed the invisible, could it be time for us to listen more with our hearts and recognize that there are things we cannot see, but that are just as real as the air we breathe?